You know, in the media recently has emerged the sneaking suspicion that Donald Trump just might be a compulsive sociopathic liar. You could understand why it's taken the press so long to come to this conclusion. Trump's lies are so understated and subtle.
I watched when the World Trade Center came tumbling down. And I watched in Jersey City, New Jersey, where thousands and thousands of people were cheering as that building was coming down. Thousands of people were cheering.
Yes,
That is demonstrable.
The news media have been living in a Donald Trump's own private Idaho for so long, they forgot what their job is. Trump claims to have seen 9/11 footage of thousands of New Jersey Muslims having tailgate parties on rooftops. Because, you know, on rooftops is where you have tailgate parties. First, you drive your car to the top of the apartment building, and then you open your trunk and you start barbecuing. Am I right about that, Frank?
Well, Jimmy, yes, but what you're not saying is that since Trump said that, and, you know, saying thousands of Muslims were celebrating, and it was on video, and people have been asking him for proof, he did produce a video of Curtis Sliwa, a local New York radio guy and former head of the Guardian Angels, saying that he heard about a couple of guys who might have been doing that. So as you can see,
yes,
he's been vindicated.
Yeah, thousands of Muslims were cheering the Twin Towers, but nobody can find any video of it. You know, I've heard lots of 9/11 conspiracy theories, but this is the least believable one. This has got to be.
Actually, there's some theory that the reason nobody has seen that footage is because it was on the Carson Daly show. But you see,
as we mentioned last week, Carson Daly, twice the ratings of Conan O'Brien.
Well, you know, Jimmy, I understand, like, every time there is a crisis, you know, like 9/11, who doesn't immediately send a news crew to New Jersey?
Immediately, right? Well, Trump says that the footage can't be found because it was on, quote, ancient technology. Now, Frank, you remember the good old days, 2001, when all the videotape was being done on papyrus parchment paper?
right.
And then and friars had to copy them by hand. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That took forever.
I was particularly pissed off when I first saw that video of the Muslims cheering, because it preempted the Texaco Star Theater with Milton Berle. And and then the kinescope I was trying to watch it on, like, disintegrated, so it's kind of messed up.
You know what, Frank? I don't think a billionaire has the resources to find a video of a massive historical event that was aired on public TV. Don't you remember the great videotape famine of 2001?
And also, one thing that really backs Trump up is because at the time, you might remember that people were not really trying to fan the flames of war back then. So a clip of thousands of Muslims in New Jersey cheering 9/11, it's not the type of thing that would have been of any interest to, say, Fox News or any network. They really weren't into that kind of thing. So it probably just got, I mean, it's probably in somebody's video collection, like underneath their tape of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot or something.
Yes, I think Stop or My Mom. Did they ever make a sequel to that? Because that was so good.
No, they didn't.
So everyone's making a big deal, Frank, out of the fact that Chuck Todd actually corrected Donald Trump when he had him phone in again to talk. Yeah. This is a new thing, by the way. And by still the only guy who gets to phone in on Sunday shows, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump phoned in, and Chuck Todd pushed back, and everyone's making a big deal.
Are they making a big deal Chuck Todd did his job?
Making a big deal that Chuck Todd did his job. So here's how he starts.
Let's go to this Jersey City comment. You said you saw this. Nobody can find evidence of this. And more importantly, the article that you tweeted out that says that this backed you up, that in itself, there were 3 or 4 different reports that month in New Jersey that said it was a myth that was spread, that it was a false rumor, FBI, you name it. Where did you see this?
So I bet that's going to shut Trump up. He really nailed him.
Yeah.
Finally, that's nice that he said that, right? But I'm going to notice I'm going to just keep looking, and I want you to notice what word Chuck Todd never says, because I'm going to play the interview. Just notice what word he does. So he starts off okay. Hey, we all know that this didn't happen. There are already reports saying it didn't happen. Here's how Trump pushes back.
This didn't happen in New Jersey. There were plenty of reports, and you're feeding a stereotype.
Chuck, it did happen in New Jersey. I have hundreds of people that agree with me. And by the way,
It's just it's just a parody of many people. I've got hundreds of people many people of the top people on Twitter have said things. Here, let's keep going.
But they want to agree with you. That doesn't make it true.
So that's what everyone's pointing to. Chuck Todd saying, just because people say it doesn't make it true. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how long it's taken him to push back like this, right? So Donald Trump just goes right to the many people. Where's more.
We're looking for other articles, and we're looking for other clips. And I wouldn't be surprised if we found them, Chuck. But for some reason...
He wouldn't be surprised if they found them. No, he would be fucking flummoxed if he found them. What? It really exists? You gotta be kidding me.
Are the detectives who investigated Obama's birth certificate in Hawaii that Trump hired, are they going to try to find the clip? Because those guys are good.
Yes.
Oh, we don't have to go there. We don't have to do that.
That's old news. Come on, Frank. That's old news.
No.
There was plenty found.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's more to be said.
Well, just because somebody repeats something doesn't make it true, and I guess that's actually that's the worst.
I don't mean I had 2 calls, Chuck. Even yesterday, I was in Sarasota, Florida, and people were saying they lived in Jersey. They moved down to Florida because taxes are a lot lower in Florida.
If I said people, Mr. Trump, if I said, well, people have said Mr. Trump's not worth $10 billion, and people were saying, you would say that was crazy. You wouldn't make a business deal based on retweets and based on hearsay.
So it's interesting to watch Chuck Todd finally react like a human being, not even a reporter, just a human being to a guy who's literally just BSing him to his face on the phone.
That couldn't be more obvious BSing.
Couldn't be it's like a 6th grader lying to you.
Yeah.
Man, I've got people calling me saying that happened. It's I don't know if you saw that movie, The Spelling Bee, where the one kid misspelled the word, and so he got out. And they in the documentary, there's 3 kids sitting around talking about the kid who misspelled it, and they go, a lot of people think it was spelled that way. Yeah, a lot of people. That's exactly what Donald Trump does. He does like what a 6th grader does. A lot of people said they saw it. There's no evidence of it. I'm a billionaire. I have endless resources to find stuff like that. But come on, it was 2001. Nobody had videotapes.
Well, I'm also, as I'm watching the clip too, I get to see that Donald Trump, they have his picture superimposed, big grin on his face, but then they have stars behind his image.
Well, it's the flag.
Which is all a bunch of bullshit that they're making this guy look presidential and important with this imagery behind him, and he's just a liar and okay, Chuck Todd is really going to corner him on this, but they're still going to pretend that the guy is a respectable human being.
Well, he may be doing well in the polls, but someone who, if you have a news show and there's someone who always lies every time he comes on, you shouldn't be having him on your show anymore.
I would agree with you. And so here he is, finally reacting like the normal frustration that a viewer feels watching the Chuck Todd show. Now Chuck Todd is finally expressing a little bit of it. It's funny that he can push back about Donald Trump's obvious BS about Muslims cheering in New Jersey. It takes a lot of balls for Chuck to do that finally, but he won't do that against someone who comes on and denies science on his show. He gives that person a nice platform. That's that's your position. Hey, maybe trickle-down economics does work. Maybe supply-side economics is the thing that'll save us. Hey, maybe global climate change is a hoax. Who knows? I don't know. But thanks for coming on. So, but,
You know what, Jimmy,
but it's weird that finally he's going to finally push back against Donald Trump, because he wasn't doing that for the longest time. We all know that. He let him lie about immigrants, about Mexicans.
Mm-hmm. And actually, that other stuff is just as gigantic a lie as this was.
Yes, of course it is. We know there's negative immigration in America. There's more Mexicans going back to Mexico than Mexicans coming into the country, right? So, again, and immigrants commit crime at a much lower rate than natural-born citizens. Chuck Todd let him say all that stuff. And finally, this is weird. Let's see what else he has to say.
Chuck, you have a huge Muslim population over there, and that's fine.
First of all, I love that's like Stef's joke. Stef, we were at a wedding one time, and this white woman said to Stef, you want to tell what happened?
Yeah, this woman, she's really nice. She turns to me and she says, "What are you?" And I said, "I'm Mexican." And she grabbed my hand and she goes, "That's fine."
And that's what Donald Trump just said. Listen.
You have a huge Muslim population over there, and that's fine.
And that's fine. He said it.
Chuck, you have a huge Muslim population over there, and that's fine.
So now, John Heilman and who's the good-looking young guy? Willie Geist over at MSNBC. Young Willie.
Geist, Matt Lauer in training.
Matt Lauer in training. Looks fantastic.
Oh, I thought he was a Carson Daly in training.
Yeah. So here, Donald Trump goes on the phone. He's doing another TV interview on a phone.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, he lives like 5 blocks from 30 Rock.
Yes.
Well, he lives close enough to see New Jersey, too.
Yes.
Okay.
I pointed that out a couple of weeks ago. He had been on SNL in the same building the night before, and he couldn't be bothered to come back for the Meet the Press interview.
So here they asked Donald Trump, what's his general feeling about Muslims?
Do you think that Islam is an inherently peaceful religion that's been, by some small percentage, as you just said, whatever the percentage is, perverted by some? Or do you think that Islam is an inherently violent religion?
Well, all I can say, John, there's something going on. There's something definitely going on. I don't know that question could be answered. It could be answered 2 ways.
Yes, could be answered both. Yes, it could be answered both ways. You see the hatred, and the hatred is coming and going both ways. It's both ways.
It could be answered both ways. But there's something going on there. There's a lot of hatred coming out of at least a big part of it. You see the hatred. I mean, we see it every day.
You see the hatred. The Muslims hate us. They're the hatred. And
but after that interview, Bill Maher offered him a writing job. So.
And Trump had to cut that interview short, by the way, because he was late for his appearance on the Alex Jones show.
Which,
True.
That's a funny joke. Oh, wait a minute, it's not a joke.
No.
He really did appear on the Alex Jones show.
And he'll at least get on the Skype for Alex Jones. He won't get. He doesn't even. You don't even get a Skype with him when he does the Willie Geist and MSNBC or Chuck Todd. He just phones it in. Alex Jones, he got on the. Am I wrong about that? I think he got on the Skype for Alex Jones.
I haven't seen it, but just the fact of anyone going on the Alex Jones show.
The Alex Jones show. The Alex Jones show, right? Who said the Sandy Hook shooting was a false flag.
Yes. The craziest ideas out there, and Donald Trump is an honored guest on his show.
And Trump is now, he's now selling "Make America Great Again" hats, but they're made out of tin foil. Okay. So that's how Donald Trump gets covered. That was Chuck Todd's big pushback to Donald Trump. Let's just remember that. There you go. Mm-hmm. There you had it. You got it.
And I don't think it would have happened if he was on his jet.
Here was the word. No, because when he's on his jet, everybody agrees with him. Here's the word you didn't hear Chuck Todd say. You're lying. We've double-checked this. We've triple-checked it. The whole goddamn journalistic community has checked this, and we've concluded you're lying. You're lying all the time. You're a big liar, and you're debasing the political discourse in America. So please stop it. And if you lie on my show, I'll call you a liar. That word never came out of his mouth. And at least he he did push back. I'll give it to him. Wow, it's taken a long time. That's what every Sunday show should be. That's how it should be every Sunday. You get somebody on, you know they're full of it, and you confront them on it. That's called meeting the press. Right now, what they do is they're hanging out with the press. It's a much different situation. That's what every Sunday, you're supposed to be an advocate for the people, right? You're supposed to be confrontational with the powerful. And this is the only time it happens. It takes the biggest race-baiting liar in the history of politics to get Chuck Todd to actually raise his voice on his Sunday show.
Yeah, and even that, it was very mild pushback.
It was very mild.
Yeah, and he wants Trump back, and Trump will go back. Trump didn't, I don't feel like Trump felt like he had a big confrontation. I feel like Trump felt like he always does. He just brushed him off his shoulder.
Yes, no, Trump was, and they will, and you can best believe he's going to have Trump back on, and he'll have him on the phone, which is fitting because Chuck Todd's been phoning it in for most of his career.
It's true. It's true. Out of the two of them, that's the odd thing. Out of the two of them, Chuck Todd is the one who was phoning it in.